Hear me? Can you hear me? Caleb? 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 I can. Can you hear me? Okay. Um, can can you hear me clearly? Caleb? 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 Caleb, I'm gonna need you to pull over. You're gonna have to find a good spot to pull over because your screen is froze. I can't hear anything. So I'm gonna need you to pull over. I didn't know you was gonna be driving. I thought you was gonna be stationary. I need you to pull over. I your phone, you
I'm
right
finna
now
pull.
you're froze
I'm
on
finna
my
pull.
screen. So I need you to pull over for a few minutes. I won't take up too much of your time. I just want to hit and miss on what I really wanted to talk about. But if you're driving, I'm gonna need you to pull over because your screen keeps freezing up. Can you hear me? I can hear you, but it sounds like you're far away. I thought you was gonna be stationary when we got ready to do this. I didn't know you was gonna be out driving.
Um, I had I was in a bad place, so I was driving to a better place because where I was at wasn't the
Oh, I wish
most
you had done that before 6 o'clock.
good.
But my phone has been acting up. But I need to know if you can hear me clearly before I jump into this thing. Can you hear me clearly?
I, yes, I can hear you
Okay,
clearly.
so I'm gonna go back live on Facebook because I had to switch everything, turn everything off. That's effed up. I don't know why, but I guess it was supposed to happen. I don't know. But okay, Facebook Live. I'm back. I had to switch phones, switch cameras, and all kind of stuff. So Caleb is online now. We're on YouTube Live. I'm about 26 minutes behind schedule because I thought by now in 26 minutes we've been talking about everything that I wanted to talk about. Um, yeah, I see the comments that he's having issues on his end. Yeah, I see that the yeah, I know he said he's headed to a better designated area. Um, but Caleb, pretty much what I want to talk about is just kind of like we're not gonna call names, we're not gonna do any of that. I don't know why the hell I'm dark on my other camera, but I'm dark on it now. But um it's a lot of things that's going on in the community. And I want to pick up from Aberdeen this past Saturday. You did an amazing job. First of all, first and foremost, my hat goes off to you.
Thank you.
I have a lot of respect for you as an 18-year-old freshman college student who put that event together in Aberdeen, and it was a success. The people came out. They came out to register to vote. They came out. in the community to show their love and support and respect, for the mayor's youth counseling event. And you had some of your friends from Itawama to come by to kind of like roast the mayor. Then you had someone from Ole Miss, two other students from Ole Miss to come by. Three was on the panel to kind of roast the mayor. By the way, which everybody did a great job. And then once the event was over, later that night, we all were informed about an incident that happened in our community. So, and you said that you knew the young ladies, that you went to school with them, um,
Right.
and that you knew them. So we're not going to call names. We're not going to get too deep in debt about it now because I'm already darn near 30 minutes behind schedule. But just to kind of like piggyback on some of that, because I named my show tonight The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I named my show tonight The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And the good is, Caleb, we have a lot of young people out here, such as yourself, such as your friends that was out this past weekend. A lot of the kids that I saw in the community in Aberdeen. The kids, we still have some kids out here that's trying to do something with their life, trying to be better. Because what I want to put out here on the forefront, we understand the community that we live in. We understand this world that we live in. We understand everything that's going on in this world. So we don't have to put it all out here to on camera on wax because everybody already know. But the
Right.
things that's going on in our community that's hurting our community with our young adults, we know we can't stop it. We know we can't stop it. We know we can't take control of it, but we can put our hands in it and try to help out a little bit. Because
Right.
a lot of things that's going on here was going on before, like we said this past weekend, before we came, and they've been going on since we've been here, and they're going to be going on when we leave. So
Right.
that's just the world that we live in. This is just like the nature of the beast where we live. But why
Right.
I wanted you to be my special guest tonight, because I was really impressed with what you did this past weekend. And I also wanted you to come back and talk to the FaLisa JaNaye Talk to Him podcast tonight, and just kind of like put a little perspective on um you, what you're doing in your community, how you got involved in this with your school, and how we all can come together can come together and connect the dots with all the communities, here in the Golden Triangle area, the state of Mississippi as a whole. The whole nation is suffering from some kind of violence, gun violence, drug violence,
Right.
murdering, gang members, all kind of stuff. So instead of elaborating on that tonight and harping on that, because we already know that. So let's just talk. I want to hear from you as a young man,
Right.
um, freshman in college, your perspective on the younger generation that's coming up behind you.
Right. So I do want to start off by just saying how it was to get a phone call that late that night after we did that whole event that was youth positive. That hey, your classmate, which is a girl, was going out with friends just to have fun. Um, then got shot in her chest, got shot in her leg. I mean, the doctors had to remove a gallbladder, a part of her liver, and they had to keep the bullet that stayed in her thigh because they can't take it out. And
Okay.
and just coming back to Ole Miss, and then I was telling that
Jesus.
story to somebody else, and they was like, "Wow, my friend," which this girl that I was talking to is not from my area at all, but they said their friend was there at the same party and was shot. So it's people come from all over the GTA to one event just to have pure fun, and I mean these ages are like the same ages that we targeted on Saturday was 18 and up. These are the same ages that were there at the party, and not saying that partying is not a positive thing, but let's say if they were to be at that voter registration event, would they have had a positive impact on them later on, and would they been somewhere different in a different setting, or it's just stuff you have to look at with that, and then it's like, well, hey, where they get it from? Where they getting these guns from? Some
What
guns. and and the time you turn 18, you'll be able to get, and that's crazy to me. That's always been a crazy law to me. You can't get a handgun at 18, but you can get an AR 15 at 18. That's
What?
a mass weapon right there. So it's like, some people say it's a parent thing. You need to check on your children, see what they have, see, and then check on. It could be good to check on your children's mental health, because going into a
True.
place like that to target who you coming at, that's a part of mental, because uh, you'll have to have some type of mental for you to go in a public place to target out someone or people just because you're mad about something. So I believe if a parent were to take it at home and have more consideration with their child and be like, "Hey, are you dealing with anything? What's on your mind? Let's talk it out." And he might not even talk about what he's mad at, but there could be something else in life going on. But if you were to open that floor out to that child, and he'll say something that release so much tension off that
Right.
person, so it won't be built up by the time he gets to that event where he feels like this. I need to uh, let out all my anger through gun violence. You know what I mean? So
Well, to piggyback on something that you said, it was an event for the teenagers because I did a little digging. So it was an event for the teenagers, which is, perfectly fine because they did have security on staff.
they did.
Um, they did have, what they call it. Oh my gosh, my vocabulary is, my mind is so all over the place. They were checking, they were patting
Right.
down, checking handbags, and they were patting down. But with that being said, with the young lady, my heart goes out to her and her family, and I'm gonna try my best to reach out to the family and excuse me, and just see, just ask what can I do, because like I said Sunday, my heart goes out to all these kids, and these are not even my kids, um but they're somebody kids.
Right.
So we got the younger kids that's coming up watching the older kids, do this and do that. So,
Right.
and they're thinking that it's okay. Like you said, we were at a we were at an event trying to get young peoples to come out. We're trying to get people in period to come out to register to vote. And then that was a fun filled thing, and that was a great event. And then later on that night, that happened, that tragedy happened. And so and it was whatever it was, we know what it is. We can't speak on it on a lot of it, but we know what it was. And either way it goes, both sides of the family hurt,
Right.
lose, mourn, suffer, and they gotta and we love to say we gotta deal with it. We
Yeah.
gotta deal with it. Um
But,
it's a topic that the community are afraid to touch on, and I understand
that,
why.
that's
It's
what I. That's what.
it's a topic. They're afraid to touch on, and I understand why. You got to understand, Caleb. You're 18 years old. I'm 52, and we live in this big old world, and it's violence, all kinds of violence all around us. But in the big scheme of things, what a lot of people don't know, either they know, don't want to know, act like they don't want to know, don't want to have anything to do with it. It all starts with our government. And because we can't raise our children the way we feel like we need to raise them, because if we do, we'll be punished. Child will
Right.
be taken away from you and we'll be punished. And everybody know, if your kid, if they remove your child, y'all, I'm sorry. If they remove your child from your address one time because the child want to have his way, they want to do something, but the parents won't let them do it. So the child get mad. First thing they do, call 911. But like Medea said, you put your finger on my phone. They're gonna be the last phone that you touch. You
Right.
know, I'm just saying, because that's how I am. That's how I was at my house when my kids was there. You
Right.
um you can call 911, or you can make an attempt to call 911. It ain't guaranteed you're gonna make it all the way through. And if you do it and they come to my house, when they leave, you leave. That's just top dollar bottom line on that right there. So these kids have a lot, like games. We was talking about the games, the PlayStation games. Y'all know it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they was talking about You know how they learn how to do different things by playing all these different games. So
Right.
you
Let me
got
pause
the
you.
games,
Pause you
you
right
got
there.
the street,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Let me pause you right there. And
Okay.
then that's one. It just popped in my mind. The games are teaching skills that the men in the house should be teaching. The game,
Well,
the games are teaching. Like I had, I was fortunate enough to have a stepdad that taught me how the safeties of using a gun, not when how to put the safety on, how to put the cartridge in, But the games are teaching it, and so when you're using the game, that's your own imagination, and you doing what you need to do. But it's still teaching you it ain't teaching you the rights and wrongs of that gun. So we lacking it.
we're supposed to have them for
Right,
protection, but
right,
protection from who?
right.
Because we're doing it to each other.
We're doing it to each other.
So and once we get rid of all of us, all all the black men that's not dead or will be locked up, then what about the women and the children that's left behind? Who's going to
Right,
protect us? But even with all that being said, Caleb, like I said, it's a whole lot that we can't touch on with this subject, and it's a whole lot that we can, because I have a proclamation, and a lot of people may say, "Well, it's just a piece of paper." Well, it is, but that piece of paper means something to me. Um, you got a lot of kids out here who don't ever, not one day, probably not one day out of a year, may not hear their mother or father, if they're around, and may not hear nobody say, "I love you." and
right,
that and that's a lot of what our young children are dealing with as well. Now, I went live Sunday, and I did say that our kids are lost, because they are lost. They're lost, but it's not too late for them to be found. But they
right.
need, like you said on the podcast Friday night, they need a structure, they need a leader, they need something. And it's sad to say, but I have to say it. Where we live at in this big old world now, it's not gonna happen. It's like they just don't care.
That's right.
And and,
Yeah,
and 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 I used to think back in the day, before I started doing podcasting, when I was just going live on Facebook, I used to say back in the day, well, back, you know, probably about 6-7 months ago, because I just started doing podcasting. I used to say somebody needs to care about these kids, because these kids are our future. We're losing our children left and right. We can talk about everything going on in your community, my community, y'all community, they community. It don't matter. At the
right.
end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's going to be the same thing. God can come, Jesus can come, Lord have mercy, whoever from the sky, whatever spirit y'all believe it can come. Y'all, it ain't gonna be a change until people wants to change.
Correct. That's correct. I
So, do you
mean,
have anything you want to add to that?
like and like just to piggyback on what you said again, people got to change first, and it shouldn't take uh killing after killing for people to change. I mean, and like I said, and what you said was a touchy subject for city officials, but like I said, at that place, there were They say on the news it was probably 200 to 300 people there. All of those people from the whole GTA. All those people have a mayor. All those people have all those people. Then had we didn't suffer 2 or 3 cases of gun violence in Aberdeen. So I would implore to each city official, what are we doing to get our children or get our young adults out? What are we
Well,
what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
I like to answer that. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
We're watching the news.
We're watching.
We're talking amongst ourselves, mumbling and saying what I would do. They better not do this. It ain't my child. I ain't gonna worry about it. It is what it is. This just the way the world is. It's a whole lot of that going on.
Right,
But like
right,
I said, if somebody, and I know this subject right here is not one of the best, my best subjects, that I've been doing since podcasting. I don't look for a pat on the back for everything that I talk about, because I know I'm not gonna get it.
right,
But with something like this, like I said, I told you earlier, I want to talk about this. Once I talk about this, then I'm gonna move forward and do what I said I'm gonna do in May. Once I do what I'm gonna do in May, because I'm just one person, you
right.
know, that's all I can do. I can't live my life every day going around in a circle trying to save the world when the world don't want to be saved.
The word
You
don't
know,
want to be.
and that's just where I'm at with that. But we have a lot of children here, a lot of smart children, a lot of young children that's still in school trying to learn something, wants to learn something. But these kids, it's just like they fighting the teachers. The teachers are tired of getting beat up and thrown
Yeah,
down and hurt. And the teachers are starting to fight back now. And the
right,
parents are getting mad at the teachers and stuff and want to do all this stuff, sue the school, sue the superintendent, sue anybody,
right,
but your child is beating up the teachers. The teachers are
right,
tired. The
right,
teachers risking their life coming to work every day.
right, and not getting paid enough for that.
They're not getting paid enough. I add to that. They're not getting paid enough. They not, because I used to be a teacher. They show like
Right. And so, and then I had, I just, like I said, I just thought about it. Then I just don't want to put the blame on, or well, not blame, but put,
it's honestly, Caleb, it's not all the parents' fault, because
right.
you got some parents out here. You got some out
Yeah.
here that is trying to raise their kids, like you said about
Right.
your
Right.
stepdaddy. When these kids can come from the best homes. It don't matter whether it's drugs, whatever it is, gang, stealing,
Peer
killing, shoot.
pressure,
It
peer
don't matter
pressure. I
what it
think,
is.
yeah.
When these kids leave home, the peer pressure, these kids gonna do whatever they feel like they gotta do. Peer pressure,
Mm-hmm.
because when they walk out that door and go out there in this big old world, they feel like that's all they have. And a
Right.
lot of kids feel like they're not getting love. A lot of kids feel like, killed or be killed. They hard. Like we talked about Friday. They're hard.
Right.
Who they got to look up to?
Right.
They
Right.
feel like nobody at home love them, or ain't nobody at home. They get love from the streets. And that may be the type of love that they're getting from the streets. But that type of love right there, that's that, hey, I got your back and you got mine.
Right. Right. And so, and then again, like I said, with the city officials, but also every city has, and every county has what? They have law enforcement. Law enforcement should be visible while we're having these parties. Just ride through there, go through in the parking lot, look around. They need to
Now,
see the presence of law enforcement. Just
Now
because,
I don't know what's law enforcement there Saturday, but they did have security there.
right?
So I was told, because I did a little investigating, but they did have security there,
They
and
did, and but what I heard with the security was they got distracted.
mhm.
And that's from coming from somebody that was there at the party. They said the security got distracted because they were looking at another person because they thought they had something in their purse, so they was going to check a purse. And so while that happened, they snuck in with the firearm. So that's why I said with there has to be, like I said, structure within security, and
Yeah,
then if you have, protocol, you got to have protocol with stuff like
you
that. You
got to
can't
have eyes. You got to
you
have
can't
eyes
yeah, you
everywhere.
can't send the whole fleet to go check out one thing and leave it whole, the whole building unsurveyed.
Yeah,
So, like I said,
well,
that if police or sheriff should have been there, visible. There's a big party. Just ride by there. They
yeah,
need to see at least. This is sheriff here. I ain't gonna. Oh, man, it's
yeah,
dead.
because
They ain't doing
a
that right now.
lot of innocent people got hurt. They was there to have a good time, and it was perfectly fine. But a lot of innocent people got hurt. And you know, everything that happened that night. It was a tragedy. I hate it to the bottom of my heart. And, I can't say I wish I was there, because I don't wish I was there, because I don't go out to clubs,
Right,
not like that. Um, um, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this and we're gonna move forward. A bullet ain't got nobody's name on it. At the end of the day, a bullet
right,
ain't got nobody's name on it. Nobody. So I
nobody.
just want to say thank you all so much for chiming in and being patient with me right here on Facebook. Thank y'all so much for chiming into the FaLisa JaNaye Talk to Him show, podcast show, right here live on YouTube. Um, Tonight, our subject is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I knew it was gonna be touchy, but I still had to do this because it's in my heart. And the good, we kind of already touched on that. The bad is the incident that happened, and all the people that was affected. Because see, Caleb, either way it goes, All family members on both sides is gonna
They'll
hurt.
be affected. Yep.
Friends, relatives, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Okay, I can't stop it. You can't stop it. I'm not gonna get in the middle of it and try to stop it and call the truth. But I did say, and I'm gonna say it right here live tonight. If anybody want to sit down and talk to me, I'm here. Let's come to a common ground, and I'm here because this is our community where our children are outside playing, and they got to run in the house ducking and dodging.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Michelle says I don't go to clubs either. Tuned in from Maryland tonight. Hey girl, hey. Hey, oh yeah, you are tuned in from Maryland. I see you've been having a good time. You and your mama, y'all stay safe, stay blessed. Look like y'all doing a lot of positive things over there in Maryland. I saw you at the Pentagon. I've been there a time or two. Have fun, girl. Enjoy your brother. Enjoy your vacation, and y'all just be safe. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's Michelle. That's like one of my best friends. My somebody I've been knowing one of FaLisa JaNaye fans forever and a day. She got my back, my ride or die. Thank you, Michelle. Love you and your mom. Tell us a hey, and y'all be blessed. So the ugly we're gonna touch on, Caleb. And it's not gonna be long. The ugly is, when do it stop?
When do it stop?
That's the ugly question. I've been waiting to say that all day. I've been waiting to ask that question all day. When do it stop?
When do
You
it
don't
stop?
know, and I don't know.
We don't know.
Theory, they have a theory out here in the world. Every 80 years, the world go through this massive thing. Is They say, the revelation is here, the revelation is coming. I'm not going to get all into the Bible with it, but when do it stop? And I'm asking this question so strong because I'm 52 and they've been doing this ever since I've been here. So I've been seeing it for I don't remember the whole 52 years I've been seeing what I see now, but it's been going on ever since I ever since I've been here. So when does it stop?
I mean, to answer the question is somewhat what I said when we did the first podcast. Um, when folks tired of being tired, and
When
then
folks,
when our young generation have somebody that's shot that they care about, that are we is you gonna either take the route of I'm gonna stop this or I'm gonna get my revenge. It's in some ways you're gonna die yourself out trying to do the other way. And so
well, this is the ugly part for me. This is what I have to say about the ugly. Just stop doing it because we're gonna die anyways.
right. And so the just stop has to come from a revelation. So a revelation what I made is somebody got to get closer with God. Somebody got to know the
Woo! Boy,
somebody
you better
got to
come
know
on here and see if that right there is what they don't want to hear, don't want to do, don't want to talk about, don't want to mention. Because everybody have their own God now.
right,
Everybody is serving their
right,
own different type of
right,
God now.
right. Everybody settle.
Nobody really
Everybody,
isn't, into the God that,
uh,
you and I
uh,
might be into. They're into their own God, whatever that
right.
God is.
And it's crazy how it take a traumatic experience for you to call on God. But when
Well,
you
it does. It does. It does. Every time. It never fails. But see,
right,
what a lot of people don't want to understand, they understand. I'm just gonna be bold on here tonight now.
okay,
They understand.
they
But
don't
what
care.
they're saying is it's not my child. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
involved. I ain't doing it. I'm gonna let them have it.
yeah.
But what if it is your child under the radar and you don't know?
Right,
If you
right.
really want to know, Facebook, YouTube. If y'all really want to know how y'all kids are, what kind of children y'all got, let
Facebook,
them go
you
spend the night
and
with
then,
somebody else.
but for
Let them go
anybody
spend the night with somebody else.
for anybody that's listening, for anybody that says those words and stuff like that, and you don't want to take the route of, hey, I'm gonna step up and be a light in my community or be a light on social media. It You don't have to do that. What I would tell somebody is, if you don't have that fire in you, this is what you need to do. You need to take it to the Lord in prayer, because a prayer, and you incorporate the youth in your prayer, God will put a cover on everyone.
Over
So
the children,
you
because the
get you get
children,
multiple, you get hundreds of people, hundreds of families, hundreds of mothers, hundreds of dads to put somebody else's child in your prayer, a
huh?
general prayer,
Come on now.
being prayers of the righteous, you know, you got to have it.
Oh,
So if you
what
don't feel
you
like
say?
you're not that fighter person, take it to the Lord in prayer. He'll fight the battle, but you got to go. He got to see that you willing to put that to get beside yourself and put somebody else forward in your prayer. We always supposed when we do go to the Lord in prayer, we always supposed to pray for everybody else. Let's put that as a specific prayer in there. Let's put that, because you got to pray for your enemy. That's in the Lord's prayer. You got to pray for, so you put that in your daily prayer. I employ every preacher to put that in their prayer while they
Uh-huh.
preach, having devotional. Put that in your prayer. Teach your flock that you need to continue to put that,
Woo!
because
What?
once it starts with the head, it'll go to the flock, and then that carries on so forth. So the flock will carry it to their children. It got to be a evolution of, hey, I'm gonna put this in my prayer and let it build up, let the prayers build up. So the Lord will answer our cry. So if you don't want to take that route of standing up and protesting or doing social media, take it to the Lord. Go to your prayer closet and take it to
Uh-huh.
the Lord that way.
Boy, you better talk to him. Caleb, let me tell you something. Thank you so much for chiming in with me tonight. I am so sorry for all the technical difficulties. I don't know what happened. I guess it was just maybe something was just saying that we don't even need to do this podcast, but I refuse to let the devil win. I refuse
Right.
to let the I got upset and I cursed. I cussed because I've been working on my cussing. But I tried it one more time. I said, now if I don't get it this time, I'm gonna let it go and move on to something else. But thank you so much for taking out your busy schedule to come on here to talk to me and to share some insights and some enlightening to our younger generation, because my show is not for kids, but the parents will be, people will be watching later. They're watching now. They may not be watching now, but somebody will watch it later, because I'm going to share this. I know everything that I do will not tickle everybody fancy all the time. I know when I come live I say a lot of things, have people laughing and I'm a big kid at heart and acting silly. But Sunday and tonight was not one of those live things that I decided to do. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here to be a part of my show tonight, being my special guest. You were so amazing this past weekend. I wanted to bring you in tonight. And then when that tragedy happened Saturday night after your event, I felt like it was more fitting to bring you back on and to open up a little bit, so the parents out here can hear you as a freshman 18-year-old going to Ole Miss and studying PPL. And if y'all don't know what PPL means, Caleb, please tell them what PPL means.
Public policy leadership.
Public policy leadership. It's not PPP, y'all. It's PPL. Public policy leadership. That's his major in school. Walter Boyd Six said, prayer with some of these little demons does not work, and that's exactly right. But we still have to pray. Walter Boy 360. We still have to pray. Well, I still have. Let me keep this personal. Caleb, you said you talked about the praying part. I still have to pray, because without prayer there is no power. It's just top bottom line. The world is full of demonic spirits and demonic people. We can't change them.
It'll
You
always be
have
like
to you
that.
have
It
to
starts
want to change your
right.
demonic, devilish, evil ways. And so and I know I'm not gonna have a show about that, because I'm not gonna even entertain and spend a whole hour or 5 minutes getting off into something like that,
No.
because I know people
Yeah.
people people
Okay.
I'm gonna let them folks have it. However
Yeah.
they think, however they get down, however they live, whatever it is that they're doing. Hey, more power to y'all. God bless y'all. I hope y'all happy doing whatever it is that y'all love to do. But I am FaLisa JaNaye, and I do podcasting every Tuesday and
Right.
Wednesday night. On Tuesday night, I have my Talk to Him FaLisa JaNaye right here on YouTube Live, and where I talk about whatever I want to talk about. And on Wednesday night, I'm back here on DM Fusion TV with my girl Deborah, and we have set questions, for a month. For we have set questions for that show. Each month we have a subject, we stick with it for the whole month, 4 weeks, and we talk about whatever that thing is that we're talking about, and the questions are relatable to whatever it is that we're talking about. But on my show, I am at free range, and on my show I talk about whatever, whenever, however, by ever. So all I have to say to that is Much power, much prayer. Caleb,
Much
thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people? Because they will go back and watch this. They are listening. Is there anything else that you want to say before we get ready to close out?
Oh,
Um,
no.
um, Walter Boy 360 just asked the question: what is the number one thing that you can do to help these kids?
Like we said, just to
Like we've
reiterate,
been,
I mean, it's all in the pudding. We got to we got to make it. We got to make it. And by make it, I mean, be active. Like we said, do what you can, do what you want, but keep it at the forefront of everything you do. You ask God for it, because sometimes we go on our own intuition, and it's not meant for us to do it. But if we ask God first, He'll lead us on the path of what
of
we
righteousness.
do. But the first thing is we need to take care of our kids first, because once we take care of our kids, they won't influence, because they might be the very ones that's influencing other kids to do the wrong thing, and we don't even know it because we're blind to what our kids are doing.
There you
But
go. That part.
so
That part.
if we keep it
That
in our
part.
household first, and then have build up the spirit of influencing good positive things, then
Oh boy.
it'll retract.
Oh, Caleb,
So
I like how you said that. And I'm gonna add to that. What can what is the number one thing that FaLisa can do to help these kids? Do what I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing it. I'm
you
doing it to
doing
the best of my ability. Like I
you
said
doing
when I got that proclamation, I can't make these parents bring their kids to me or let me be a part of their kids' life, but I can do the best that I can do.
you
And I'm
doing
doing it right now. Even if I have to do it from afar, if I have to do it from right here. Caleb, thank you so much. God bless you. I love you.
love you
Tell
too.
everybody in Aberdeen I says hello.
All right,
Um,
all right.
Walter Boy 360 says, from my experience, you can raise a kid the right way, but once that kid leaves from around you, that kid is totally different from anything you have, and you have instilled in them, and that's child. Yep, we just talked about that too,
Right.
Walter Boy 360. That's the honest God truth. Like I said, if you really want to get to know your kids, if y'all say, well, it ain't none of my child, I ain't gonna get involved, and I ain't gonna do this, and I ain't gonna do that, let your kid leave home one night,
Well,
maybe two,
before I go, because I got to
and
go.
you'll find out how your child
But
go. Let
right,
them go somewhere by themselves. You'll find out
right,
what
right.
they do.
Before I go, because like I said, I got to go. But what just like jobs, do a mental check. Give your kids mental checks, even when they grown.
Hey,
Give your child mental checks while they're grown. Check in on your
that
child.
part,
Keep them prayed up. You pray for them, and then you send them a scripture.
that
And
part,
make sure they read it, and then
that part.
that's how you can do as a parent.
Walter Boy 360 said you leave home and the camera running and you notice the difference in your child. Okay. Well, we said, if you really want to know, if you think that this don't affect you and it just affect right here in Mississippi, well, you're
It,
wrong.
it's
It's
it,
everywhere.
it's
Caleb,
worldwide.
thank you so much. Thank you, Walter Boy 360. Thank you, everybody who chimed into the FaLisa JaNaye Talk to Him Show podcast live right here on YouTube. Caleb, I love you. God bless you.
Love
I
you.
salute you, my brother. Keep
All
doing what you're
right.
doing. PPL, a freshman, 18-year-old at Ole Miss University. I love it. Thank you
Love.
so much. Take care, baby.
All
Thank you,
right.
thank you, thank you. God bless and good
God bless.
night.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey.